Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Do Bonsai. I'm Scott Winard. Today we're going to do some catch up and some updates on the kits that we put in to see what success or non-success that we've had with each one. So let's get on with it. So the first kit that we're going to update on here is the Bees Gifts kit that comes with the Jerusalem Pine, Pinus halepensis seeds. Now this did come with some bonus seeds. It come with some sweet gum liquidumbar, of which we had one that germinated and grew and still looks to be doing quite well. And we also had some olive seeds, but unfortunately we didn't get anything from the olive seeds, so we went and bought one instead. There's a few not so good looking leaves on the tree which we will tidy up and clean off, and there's just a few little dead bits that have fallen down the bottom of the plant. So we've got two pines here that have grown ever so well, probably the best pines that have grown out of these kits over the time. They stunted at about this height where you can see the outward growth here for quite a while, and then probably just after summer, as it was getting towards autumn, the bud in the top just kind of popped, and we got all this upward growth up to this height. But they are quite steady growers. You get this burst of growth and then it won't do anything. You get a bit of growth out of the sides, but it will take a long time before these little seedlings can do anything for us. So the bonsai journey is a long one, taking it from these kits. Obviously this trunk for the sweet gum liquidumbar is now about a year old, still very thin. It's got an aerial root down near the bottom that drops down into the soil, so it's growing quite well, and these three have grown really nicely in the little greenhouse down the side of the house there. It gets some nice bit of sunshine. The southern sun comes in during the day, gives it plenty of light, and I do have a heater in there just to prevent it going down below about 4 degrees. So when it starts getting down to the frosty temperatures, the heater will kick in and bring it back up. So they've done really well. I'm quite happy. I did say once before that if we just got one, that would be good. But out of this kit we've got three, and yeah, they continue to do really well. So the two little pines, we're going to leave them. We're not going to do anything with those at all. But I do have the liquidumbar here on the turntable, and I think all we're going to do is come in with some little branch pruners and just take out the bad leaves. Just nibble away. We've got some really small ones that didn't quite grow out, probably due to some changes in weather, but we do have some really good growth coming out of the same areas, so that's really good. I will take off these larger leaves that aren't looking so great, and then that will allow us to see our good leaves. We'll just work his way around, taking these leaves off. Leaves that have grown and died off, and then they've been replaced with better leaves out at the same grow point. And the new leaves are nice and small and nice and green. So we don't really need the larger ones that have changed colour and died away, although they are quite nice, but they're all crisping up and and going away. So we'll just tidy it up, a little bit of work on it, not too much. Some leaves just hanging in the body of the tree here, so we'll just work our way around. We've got a few in this area that don't seem to have done a great deal, so we'll just work our way into those, get those out. There's one here that just needs trimming off, and the rest will shrivel up and fall and just crisp up and die away. But that's pretty much all we're going to do with it. There's not really the ideal time to be doing too much work to these, but just to remove the the excess foliage, just to tidy it up and make it look nice. So we got some good results from the bees gifts. More than happy with the results that we got. We got the sweet gum there and 2 of the pines, and we'll put them back into the greenhouse to allow them to continue on their journey. Like I said, they're about a year old now, so they've got plenty of growing left to do. They've got a lot of catching up to do to catch up to other people's little trees that are out there 20, 30, 40 years old, and these are just beginning their journey, just starting on their path. Our next one, if you can see me, we used the Avoseedo, floated the avocado seed in a bowl for a period of time, and it rooted and and did really well, and it continues to grow really well. There's the remnants of the seed there. That's the first time I'm moving it away from the soil. That side's actually fully broken away, so we'll do away with that. And it's enjoyed its life in the greenhouse. It keeps growing, then stopping growing, then growing, then stopping growing. We've got a few small little dead leaves up near the top, which I'll just take away. But because the greenhouse has got that heater in, it's continued to grow all the way through. The leaves are doing really nicely. They're a bit brown on some of the ends and edges, but you know, it's really tall, doing really well, and going absolutely great. We'll just leave it alone. I think at some stage we're probably going to have to trunk chop it, but that's a decision to be made a long way in the future for me. I think I need to do a little bit more investigation work on avocados as bonsai. This is the first time I've ever done an avocado as bonsai, and it's only because I found the Avoseedo whilst looking for the bonsai kits that I even did the avocado. I saw somebody or heard somebody on YouTube that had done something with avocados and avocado bonsai, but yeah, it's a long road for me, and a long bit of much education needed for how to look after these. You see the bottom leaves are drooping, but the top leaves, I don't think you can actually see them just from that angle, but the top leaves are nicely up and in the air. So it's probably going to get towards spring, and then what we'll do is we'll look to think about doing a trunk chop if we're going to. You will just see there, just coming off the side there, which we'll take away now, that was the original leader that died away at this level, and then a new leader came out. So it died back to that point, and then luckily it sprouted out again at that level, and this nice big healthy trunk has come out, so we got quite lucky with that. It likes its wetness. It likes to be wet, so I keep it well watered. I do let it dry a bit, but I do keep it nice and wet. It's a bit like the willows, where they like their roots to be nice and wet for some reason. Again, that's more education that we need to do, and I need to do to make sure that we give this the best chance that it has to doing a good job. There's lots of points where there's branching coming out, so there's lots of options for trunk chopping. There's a major branch coming out just up at this level here, which you can just about see. I will come round and lift the camera up and fly it in across the top there, just so that you can see. But there's lots of branching up the top, lots of ramification going on up there. So lots of new leaves, lots of growth, and yeah, it continues to do really well. Now, what I am going to do with the Avoseedo is I'm going to get a mango seed. We've got a couple of mangoes here. And you can pretty much do exactly the same thing with the mango seed as you can with the avocado seed. So utilising the Avoseedo, we'll do the same thing again, put it in some water and try and get the mangoes rooted and see what we get from the mangoes. I have no idea what we're going to get, if anything, but I think it'll be quite exciting to find out. So let's just come in here and I can show you the beautiful leaves up the top there. Really nice leaves. You can see that there's lots of growth going on in there, lots of division happening. So yeah, the avocado tree continues to do really well. We've just got to make some decisions going forward as to where we start trunk chopping, where we start removing the leaves. These lower leaves must be taking some energy, or hopefully feeding some energy into the tree, but we'll work it out. The next ones that we've got came out of the Botanical Bonsai Kit, the one that was like a stadium. They call it the stadium. And we got a few things come out of it, some pines and some other bits, and they grew, but then they died away. But the two that did continue to grow are the red buds. You see the ones with the heart-shaped leaves, and they've continued to grow all the time. One of them has still got some leaves on, still growing quite well, and the other one I'm hoping has just gone into dormancy, because all we've got is the main trunk coming up. I don't know whether it's a chance for me to chop it back and hope that some of the lower budding comes out again. The one with the leaves at the top, I would obviously leave that in position. I wouldn't cut that back, but you can see the green growth coming out of the woody trunk. Even though it's so small, it's quite woody, has continued to grow, but the other one has just stopped growing at this height, so I'm hoping that it's just gone dormant and it'll come back in spring. But my options are to trunk chop and wait for spring, or just wait for spring and then see where we go. But obviously they're very leggy now, gone very long, and it might be an ideal time to trunk chop these back. I did it with the catalpas, took them right back, and they exploded and did really well. So there we go. That's a quick update on the bees gifts and how that one's doing. The Avoseedo for the avocado, and that's doing really well. And the Botanical Bonsai Kit, which we've still got these 2 red buds growing, but it's whether or not this one's gone into dormancy or whether it's, you know, actually died. I don't think, I'm hoping that it's a dormancy thing. It's just these have been side by side and you'd expect them to go dormant together, whereas this one's putting out new growth again, and this one hasn't. Any advice on these would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure that some of my fellow bonsai compadres out there will feed me full of some advice. But I will do some reading up and some knowledge finding and see where we're at. But there we go. So there's more of these updates to come very soon, very quickly. But for this update episode, I'm Scott Winard. This is Let's Do Bonsai, and we'll see you again in the next one.